Jason Maxwell Buss, LHS Baseball, go Cats.
Nicholas Michael Carlucci, go Cats. Nathaniel William Cote, go Cats.
My name is Nathan Cody. I graduated last spring. I was a pitcher on the Libertyville Wildcat baseball team.
I am Mitchell Townsend. I'm a pitcher and first baseman for the Libertyville Wildcats.
Derek Christopher Yos, go Cats.
Peter Edwin Newman Jr., go Cats. Alec James Samirsky, go Cats. Justin Jacob Garnacio, go Cats.
I'm Justin Garnacio. I graduated in May of 2013. I played center field for Libertyville's baseball team.
I'm Jimmy McGovern. I am a junior. I batted leadoff for the team last year, and I play shortstop.
My name is Evan Skaug. I've been playing baseball at LHS for 4 years, and I'm a catcher.
My name is Matt Reed. I play baseball at Libertyville, and I play outfield.
I'm Rob Garnacio.
I'm Wendy Garnacio, and we've had 4 children go through the high school, 3 boys go through the baseball program, and our daughter played softball.
I grew up in Libertyville, and actually my father was the athletic director here for, 15 years. I remember being very young and going to all the baseball games and basketball games and football games and hoping one day that I could play and to wear the Libertyville.
Michael James Rogers, go Cats.
Matthew Stephen Vogt, go Cats. Kevin Andrew Calamari, go Cats.
This game does prepare you for the baggage of life, it really does. Last year's season we had a few adversities that we had overcome, and kind of little analogy that I just stated a second ago was, these little dust devils or microburst mini swirling dust storms. If you don't curtail them and you don't handle them the right way and embrace them, but respect the fact that they were there and how to move on from them, they can turn into a tornado and they can destroy your team. They can destroy your season. And we had a couple situations last year with some injuries and some things that a lesser character team, I think, could have succumbed to. Well, this just isn't our year. There's too much going on and school's out in 2-3 weeks. It's been fun. But our guys just didn't do that. They brought a warrior-like attitude every day to the park, and the next challenge was the next challenge. And baseball being such a cerebral game, every game is a chess match, not only within the game itself, but within your own head. And are you making the right moves, Are you picking up the right piece and moving it when the other piece should stay on the board? And
it's a very humbling game, and it took me a while to figure that out, but now that I understand it, and just try to it's something about it that you do well and it keeps you on, you come back, but it's a very challenging sport, which is very intriguing to me. You're trying to hit a round baseball with a cylinder bat, and it's moving, and it's fun. It's fun to be challenged.
What do you mean humble?
I mean, you fail, even some of the best players to ever play in the history of the game have failed 7 out of 10 times. So you really have to put in perspective what it means to be successful.
I kind of came into the season, a little foolish, a little joking around and stuff, and first few games, it took me looking at my teammates, it made me realize, what we have to do to become great. And ultimately, I think we found that out during the end of the season on the little run we had into the state playoffs.
Our conference is really tough, and each conference game we played, we knew there was a chance. We knew we could win, and we also knew if we didn't come out like we knew we would get killed. That's how it was every single conference game, because we knew every team out here, every team up north here, in Lake County can play. You know, every team wants to beat Libertyville. So it was tough.
The weather was so inclement last spring that we did not have one outdoor practice prior to playing our first game in Illinois. We boarded a plane, went to play in the tournament in Arizona over spring break, and only had one practice on a Sunday. We flew in Saturday night, practiced Sunday morning, had our opening game at 9:30 in the morning on Monday with 3 victories and 1 loss. And at that point, knowing what the competition we played and knowing how that competition stacks up to Illinois competition, especially at that time in our season, that our kids were willing to accept, you know, any opponent, that we could take on anybody and that we could be driven, focused. And you know, there were a number of times in the course of the season when our team saw the grand potential of them. The hardest thing in baseball, because you play virtually every day, is keeping that going.
The turning point, one of them, at least for me, was a Glenbrook South game late in the season. Glenbrook South was a high-rated team. They were. It was Glenbrook North. Yeah, no, it was Glenbrook South. Yeah. Glenbrook North was the playoffs, but this was before that. So the game against Glenbrook South, they at our place, they came in and they were very physically big-sized kids. They were pretty cocky, and they were pretty loudmouthed, I thought, in their dugout. And it was interesting to see. We had kind of had a quiet dugout most of the season, and you know, there wasn't a lot of emotion that was coming out of our dugout, and something changed that day.
I think it was the first playoff game against, the second playoff game against Glenbrook North, when we were down, and then I think Jason Buss stepped into one of our team huddles before we go back into the dugout and hit, and he kind of got everyone riled up and got everyone going, and then it kind of took off from there. Every inning after that, we got going and stuff like that.
It was kind of that in my eyes, that turning point where now the players are driving the ship. Now they're taking it upon themselves, as opposed to, you know, coaches trying to get you motivated and always trying to instruct you. Now the players are taking it upon themselves and taking responsibility for their team.
The moment that really stuck out to me, it was we were in the regional championship against Glenbrook North, and we were down 4 runs in the 6th inning, and everyone's like, oh my God, this could be it. But
it was a close game going into the 4th inning, and Evan Scout came out to bat, and it was bases loaded.
And I hit a ball between the first and second baseman, a ground ball, and you know, there was a little confusion between the first and second baseman. You know, so the first baseman got drawn off the bag, and that gave me just enough time to dive head first into first base, and it allowed a runner to come around because there was a big collision at first base.
Our great catcher hits a ground ball to second base, trucks over the first baseman, knocks him flat down, and then we score, and then I think we tied the game at that point.
We were up 5-4. I went in for the last 2 innings, and prior to that, we haven't won a regional championship in a good amount of time. And you know, as a sophomore, it's a big deal to me because I was a young kid, one of the youngest on the team. And Coach put me in a position to see what I had, and ultimately we got the win. And I remember they hit a fly ball to left field, and Matt Reed caught it. And next thing I know, I'm in the air, and Evan's tackling me on the ground, and the whole team's on top of me. It was the best feeling ever. And, you know, I want that feeling back again.
Everyone was just going crazy, and there was just that feeling like, wow, we can really do this. The difference between this team and any other team I've ever been on wasn't even about the guys on the field. It was really about the guys on the bench, because those guys kept everyone upbeat. They were going crazy in the dugout. They helped us every step along the way, and without any of those 27 guys on that team, there's no way we would have been able to go as far as we did.
As a coach, you know this. It's hard to instill this in your players. But last year, before our opening regional game at Lake Zurich, we were playing Lake Forest. and one of our fathers, Tom Reed, shouted out right before we took the field. We had our hands in and we were ready to break and take the field. And Tom Reed just yells out at the top of his lungs,
"Why not us? Why not us?" And it was true. Like, why not us?
You'd hear him yell it during the game, and it would just make you want to just win so bad. And it was awesome. You could just hear him. He'd be out in the stands, and he would just yell it out at the top of his lungs. And you look back and you kind of give him a little fist pump or something like just to show him like, thanks for the support. Like, and everyone, like, when we win, people are going crazy. The students last year they were pretty, like, baseball's not a very popular sport, but when we started winning and students started like giving us shout outs on Twitter and in the hallways, great game, way to win it. That was pretty special for us.
And then when we made it when we actually made it to state, we put up another sign that said "It is us," and that was pretty cool. Like, it was kind of a rallying cry.
And I'm not sure I can take full credit for why not us. I think that was, kind of the feeling. If it wasn't said, it was certainly the feeling from the team. And I might have put it on a banner, I guess, and had some fun with it. But the team, I think when Mundelein lost in the playoffs, somebody had to come out of our region, and there were a lot of good teams, a lot of higher ranked teams than we were. But our kids started to think, well, somebody's coming out, and why not us? And that's kind of, in my memory, that's kind of where why not us came from.
Hi again, everybody. I'm Dave Bernhardt, joined by Hall of Fame coach Mark Lindo. This is a Class 4A semifinal. The winner of this ball game to play for the state title in about 24 hours against Mount Carmel, the Caravan 8-0 winners over Neuqua Valley earlier today. But for St. Charles East and for Libertyville, kind of a different type of paths and history. St. Charles East winning a state championship as St. Charles High School in 1999, finished fourth in 2004. For Libertyville, the first time they've been in the state finals since 1976. And Mark, if we go all the way back to the seeding meetings earlier this year, coaches in the sectional didn't expect them to be in this spot.
You got a 5 seed in Libertyville, a 4 seed in St. Charles East. So quite clearly, both of these squads had very, very good years. Did one of them think they might be playing for a state championship? Maybe, maybe not. But the fact is, somebody will be.
Sometimes I think cliche, like everybody says when you ask them what their goals are, we want to win a state championship. And it's like, yeah, I want to win the lottery too. Every year we talk about the goals of the team, and then we decide and we kind of tie it to the whole SMART goal rubric, and are these goals specific and measurable, attainable, realistic, time-driven? And then we kind of embrace those respective goals. And we kind of do a neat thing with the coaches. When we go to Arizona, each coach kind of creates a t-shirt, and we create a theme around it, and that's part of our collaborative team building. And we kind of tie the t-shirt or the design of the logo, whatever it might be, surrounding that day's event or that teachable moment for the day. Coach Tom Carlucci on our staff, he's been with me virtually every year I've been here. Tom made a t-shirt about half a dozen years ago that had a scorpion on it. The kids found it humorous, poked fun at it, and we've ribbed them ever since, asking them, what's the theme behind the scorpion? Some kids were joking about tearing it up and washing their car with it, or here's my next workout shirt, these sleeves are coming off. Well, Coach Carlucci this year, when he made his Arizona State, or his t-shirt for Arizona, put on the state of Illinois and then had like a scorpion tail snaking down around with the stinger of the tail being in Joliet, and he put a star around it on the map like that's our destination, and the scorpion's gonna get us there.
Good evening, and welcome to our 2013 graduates, families, and friends. Let me begin by acknowledging that graduation is always an amazing day.
On June 2nd, I was in Joliet, Illinois, playing for the state semifinal championship game.
In the semifinals, we played St. Charles East, and to be honest, I was a little worried about the game because everyone was looking forward to the state final game.
I was excited, but 'cause I wasn't playing, I was just I wasn't pitching that day. Jeff was pitching, so I was more excited for him and was ready to be loud and get everybody going on the bench. So.
Not wearing tassels and not even able to attend our high school graduation tonight, let's acknowledge our Wildcat baseball team who are competing in the IHSA state finals right now.
Oh, it would be remiss not to say Evan Skaug's grand slam home run in the semifinals. That was stellar. He hit a granny.
And I have to say, the timing is perfect. On my special Wildcat phone, I just got the message, 9-6 final score, LHS wins. They'll be playing in the finals tomorrow at 5:30 in Joliet.
Like we all dogpiled on the mound, and then I look around and like I see my teammate Noah Greenberg. He was kind of tearing up, and then it came to me. I was like, oh my God, we're on the state finals.
People got it on film, and you could see all the coaches. You know, our coaches aren't very emotionally like driven, so when they started jumping up with their hands in the airs and hugging each other, like that was probably the most awesome thing I've ever seen. And you know, guys would like leap over the fence to go get to the dog pile, and you know, I was at the bottom, and you could just hear everyone like yell and just like scream. You know, it was probably the greatest thing ever.
Like that was a moment that I've dreamed of since as long as I can remember. Like that's what I've worked for my entire life, and that was a really special moment.
We all just kind of came back to the hotel. It really didn't sink in to anybody yet. We were just unbelievably amazed at how far we've come and what we still got left to do. So most guys were still focused on the state championship game the next day, and we couldn't wait to just get back out there on that field.
Once we got past super sectionals, we wanted the ring. We wanted to win state title.
I think winning that game too was kind of made it all worth it, you know, because you knew at the very least you were going to be second in state. You were going to at least do as well as that 1976 team, which we have friends who were in, you know, the school at that time, and were texting their old classmates, remember this? Now the team is back there. And
in that game?
At any of the, like, I'm talking postseason.
I was nervous in all of them.
You were nervous in all of them?
Yeah, I had gone, I as a person have been a part of 3 regional teams. The first 2 years we lost, and that was, so the third time I knew it was the charm, and I was a little nervous, especially when we got down. I was like, uh-oh, here it goes again, like this could be another one. But and then in the sectional semifinals, it was nerve-wracking. Sectional championship was even more nerve-wracking. And as the games kept going, they kept getting a little more nervous, and it's hard to sleep at night. It's hard to focus on finals. Like, that was probably the worst finals year I've ever had. And my parents weren't very happy, but it was hard to like sit down and take a test because you knew you had a big game that night. So it was your butterflies, and you were like, adrenaline was running. So it was something I've never experienced before.
I didn't really sleep, to be honest. I don't think anyone did. It's the biggest game of your life. I don't know how anyone could sleep.
You had you had images going through your mind of like winning and dog piles, and you know, so I mean, it was like so hard and to like finally just shut your mind off and go to sleep.
I think we got up at 8. We always got up at 8 just to keep a regular schedule. After breakfast, we got like our stuff ready. We went to go practice at like a local college and stuff, and That was good. Everyone felt good. And then what else? We went back to the stadium, Silver Cross, and watched the 3A state title game.
And it was a perfect day for baseball. Sun was out. It was like the idea. If you picture a game for baseball, you want that weather. Like we had the weather. It was 75 or 80 degrees probably. It was sunny. It was, not too many clouds in the sky. It was, just right.
And then after that, we went back to our rooms, and then everyone just kind of sat in the lounge. Like nobody said a word. Everyone was just like, everyone was trying to get in the zone, and it was pretty cool. And then got on the bus, went to the game. Nobody said anything on the bus either. It was dead quiet.
Going through my head is just so many different emotions and feelings. You never really expected to be this far. You've always dreamt of being able to play in a state championship game, and
it kind of hit me like, whoa, we're in the state champ. We're one of the 2 best teams in the state, and we've accomplished so much. But there's 1 game left in the season, and we need to get a win.
When we finally got out there, our adrenaline was running so much that this is unfamiliar territory, and we were not the same people. We were, overthrowing baseballs and just trying to do too much, but we really just didn't have to focus on just playing our game. We were trying to do way too much because we thought it was, we had to do something bigger and better, but that it was so hard to control your anxiousness, your adrenaline. It was like I was the most excited and anxious person that day. It was impossible to control.
And we got to the field, and we went and we sat over on the left field. There's like a grass area in the left field, like stands, and we sat there. And we all got ready, put our stuff on, and then we took the field.
Neither Mount Carmel nor Libertyville have ever won a state baseball championship, but that will change tonight as the Caravan and the Wildcats meet for your Class 4A state title. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dave Bernhardt, joined by Hall of Fame coach Mark Lindo. We welcome you to Silver Cross Field here in Joliet, Illinois. This will cap a full weekend of championship baseball. Libertyville Wildcats, the Mount Carmel Caravan. Mount Carmel, Mark, the only team that was the #1 seed in their sectional that advanced to Joliet. Libertyville, a #5 seed in their own sectional.
Postseason baseball, single elimination.
when you run out on that field, you got chills, you're shaking, you're like, wow, can't believe this is actually happening.
I wasn't so much afraid. The adrenaline was far more than I've ever felt before.
We played Mount Carmel, inner city school, south side. They're they're in the Catholic League. They can recruit players too. So we knew they were going to be good. They're a powerhouse the entire season. They're always good. We knew what we had coming. And then what else? When we got announced, I thought that was pretty cool. Getting announced in front of the whole stadium, that was pretty cool. And then what else? And then the game started. We were home, so we were in the field first.
Right when the leg kick comes, watch him close his front foot, load up to hit.
To the third baseman, P.J. Newman. He'll suck it up. That's the first out of our 4A title game.
Quality at bat, but ready for the challenge. Keeping the ball down was Cody. K.O. Thomas saw some pitches, enough for Josh Sowers and Houston to be able to see.
That first pitch, we were on defense first, and the first pitch came in and it was a strike, and our bench just lit up. It was ecstatic. Every guy was cheering, and it was getting really we were amplified. So
Tie ball game up until 5th inning, I think, 0-0. But it was a pitcher's duel. Nate Cody pitched a beautiful game for us. We couldn't ask for anything better. They just had a couple lucky bounces go their way. We had a man on second, nobody out. Justin Garnacio was on second. And then the shortstop goes to pick him off, and the pitcher leaves him hanging. And P.J. Newman hits a shot up the middle, and the shortstop's right there. And he wouldn't have been there if the pitcher didn't leave him hanging. It would have been a base hit. Justin would have scored. We would have took the lead. And they just got a few lucky hops.
So what was the result?
We lost 2-1.
2-1.
2-1, yeah. I made the last out.
Center fielder Garnacio playing shallow. We've seen him play shallow in this tournament. The wind was blowing in yesterday. A little bit of a cross breeze here tonight.
Justin went out there, just stood in center field where he played, and know that that was his last time going to be, playing the game. And he had a great game, so I think selfishly I was very happy for him that, he did his best. There was nothing more you could ask for him. And
it was a heartbreaking loss, We played really well. Nate Cody pitched really well throughout the whole game. But, ultimately it came down to they made one more play than us and ended up winning the game.
I couldn't control my emotions. Like everyone was saying, well, it was such a great accomplishment. But to me, we just had lost. The world was over at that point. It was devastating. That was the last time I'd ever played with some seniors that I'd become really, really close with. So at that point, it was pretty bad. And even when people were trying to pick you up, it was just the worst thing ever. It was a pretty bitter loss.
Popped out to first base and standing on the first base line. All the fireworks going off. Coach's dog piling right in front of me. Entire team going nuts. And then I just remember saying to myself, just remember this, because, that's about as bad as it gets right there. Like, watching the other team celebrate on the mound at the state championship. They went back, I was bawling, crying my eyes out. My teammates came up to me, told me it's gonna be okay. It was rough, it really was. It was tough to deal with that loss for a couple months. And I still think about it every day. It's really stuck with me.
As after the game, Mount Carmel received their award and left within 25 to 30 minutes. Libertyville, and I'm not exaggerating, was there for over 2 hours. And there's photos to prove it.
Yeah.
Everyone wanted to take pictures with the players. Everyone wanted to hold the trophy. It's a second place trophy. The whole community was there forever. To me, that speaks volumes of how proud the whole community surrounded Libertyville baseball. And you can dwell on a lot of things within that game. Nathan Cody pitched his heart out, 6 shutout innings to a very dominant team. As Wendy said, Justin had a good game. He had 2 hits and an RBI. Very proud of him of that.
I remember after freshman year, after against Vernon Hills, we played. And I remember I was talking to Coach Farrell after the game, and my grandpa came over and we started talking. And my grandpa said, I can't wait to see these guys their senior year and go to the state championship. And that was back in freshman year, he said that. And then looking back on that, I thought about that the whole playoffs, about how he said that, how he'd make that come true. And I remember my grandpa's been he's been there with me so much and everything like that. It's been awesome with him.
There's not a day that I don't wake up and pinch myself and can't believe that I live in the community I live in, work at the school I live in, coach the young men that I coach. I'm surrounded by the parents and the parental support that we have. You want to ask yourself, is there something else we could have done? Could we have done something different? And having the competitive streak I have, it's hard for me to settle with saying, oh, well, you still took second place. Part of me says, well, that's not good enough. And I never want to take anything away from the experience. It was, if you would tell me right now, we're going to take that same run and go for it, and it could turn out the same way, I would say, where do I sign up? Because I wouldn't trade it for anything. It was better than any season I've ever coached.
I think the magic ingredient, I'm not sure there is one magic ingredient.
We have all the physical talent we need. We just need to have everyone on the bench be energetic, and no matter what game it is, no matter what team it is, everyone have a good attitude and support who's on the field, no matter what day it is, because it really comes down to like our attitude. As soon as our attitudes changed and started playing as a team and not as a bunch of individuals, that's when we started to take off. And it was, if we play like that for any of the games, I mean, it's going to be hard for people to compete with us because we're so talented.
To get where we were, which was a state championship game, takes an incredible amount of hard work, but it also takes great leadership, which we had great captains last year.
Talent gets you only so far, and you have to put in the work, you got to put in the effort throughout the whole season, and ultimately you're going to have to gel as a team to get where you want to be.
It takes going to practice every day with a smile on your face no matter what happened during the day. It takes picking each other up when someone strikes out or someone has an error in the field.
Lifting weights, hitting in the batting cages when it's negative 20 degrees out, you know, practicing your skills and just making sure that you perfect, you know, as best as you can, perfect your skill and your trade. And that's, I mean, it takes a lot of hours, and it's, you know, blisters and.
Like, we have some of the greatest guys that I know on the team. Like, they're my best friends, and we're all really close. We're all pulling for each other at all times. Like, it's, I don't know how we could do it without them. Like, I mean, it's a team for a reason. Like, we all have that certain spot on the team, and we're all pulling for each other. And it's just, it's a family, it really is. Like, we're a family.
We got 19 guys stuck in the elevator, and that kind of just shows how close we were as a team and how that really helped us on the field because we were so close off the field. I mean, if you got 19 guys in the elevator, you're going to be pretty close to each other, so.
Definitely not. It's like we win and lose as a team.
Well, there's some word of advice to some parents, some future incoming parents.
Yeah.
Learn how to wash the clothes.
Yeah.
You could be in deep trouble.
Clean and spray and wash and.
No,
yeah,
Jim's great about that, and he likes his ball players to not only play well but look good.
Yeah.
You know, getting guys to believe. You know, the holy grail is how do you get there? What do you have to do? What's the magic potion? How many practices? How long do you practice? What do you do? What's going to make it happen? And I don't think anybody can put a finger on and say, if you do this, you're going to win it all. You know, you've got to have a feel for it. You've got to have some special kids. You've got to have a great coaching staff, great supportive parents. We had an unbelievable following by our student body. At a time of year when most of the school has checked out.
And I think trust the process, because, you know, there's a lot of times where, you know, maybe your kid's not playing, maybe other kids are making mistakes and you're questioning, you know, why are they not playing? But I think you just have to trust the process, and that, you know, give it up to the coaches. A lot of these dads have been coaching their kids from early on, and it's hard to let go and turn it over to the high school coaches.
As parents, I think we have a big influence, not on necessarily the outcome of any game. You know, coaches will influence that, players will influence that. I think as parents, we have an ability to influence the attitudes of the players by keeping it positive. You know, it's easy to complain, it's easy to second guess a coach's decision. It's easy to, you know, tell your kid he's the greatest thing ever when maybe he's not and he needs to get a little boost.
We're getting ready for postseason, and there's a lull between when the regular season ends and when the postseason starts. And as you keep on winning, you're not always playing at your home field, so therefore the home field isn't being taken care of. So with effort, a lot of the dads got together, cut the grass that was over, you know, 8 inches high, rolled the field, dragged the field, just so the kids could practice for the next postseason game. So they took the bull by the horn and got it done to make sure the kids could be ready for the next game. That's the type of commitment these parents do.
Because every year someone says, oh, we're going to go to state, we're going to go to state. Well, you know, my position always is, well, let's not forget about the baby steps before you get there. You don't just say it. You've got to be able to win regional. You've got to be able to win sectional. Before that, you'd like to win your conference if you can. And sometimes people just choose that lofty goal and just think, oh, heck, if we do that, we do everything. Yeah, but let's be realistic. If we don't do this, we can't do this. And if we don't do that. So that's kind of how our goal sessions went last year. And there was some funny irony, I guess, to it as it wound out.
So do you think Scorpion is coming back?
I'm sure there'll be a Scorpion theme somewhere. He got his mojo back, and he will have every bit of ammunition ready for the unveiling of this year's Arizona t-shirt.
You kind of see how far you did come and how many teams you are ahead of. And it really makes you proud to be a part of the program and to wear the Libertyville across your chest.
I want to get back to the state playoff. You know, it's bittersweet at the end, but you know, we still got a lot of work to do, and you know, ultimately we want to get that ring.
This year as a senior, I want kids to put that take that extra step to send me off with a state championship.
I just want a ring. I mean, whatever it takes to get a ring. I really.
So, kick ass.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Been on base all 4 times here today. The Wildcats have runners in first and second with 1 out. Murray.
He just looks like a hitter. You see him load up his backside.
The 5 on the infield single by Garnacio.
So Star Eye comes in, has an unfortunate E4, then a walk, then an infield single. And Libertyville has been able to build on their lead.
Ourselves a 7-1 ball game. Get quite as deep.
Oh, there's a dive.
Side handled by Newman across. That's exactly what will happen. Libertyville 9-6 winners over St. Charles East. They will play Mount Carmel for the state title tomorrow afternoon.